What's going on, you guys? Welcome to English Town's live stream. I'm your host, Dustin Cheverier. Today we're going to talk about common jobs and English words for different jobs, a lot. And also we're going to go over many interview questions. Let's get started. Accountant. Accountant. Actor. Actor. Actress. Actress. Architect. Architect. Artist. Artist. Assembler. Assembler. Astronomer. Astronomer. Author. Author. Babysitter. Babysitter. Baker. Baker. Barber. Barber. Bartender. Bartender. Bricklayer. Bricklayer. Businessman. Oops. Businessman. Businessman. Businesswoman. Businesswoman. Bus driver. Bus driver. Butcher. Butcher. Carpenter. Carpenter. Cashier. Cashier. Chef. Cook. Chef, cook. Cleaner. Cleaner. Computer, software engineer. Computer, software engineer. Construction worker. Construction worker. Custodian or janitor. Custodian or janitor. Customer service representative. Customer service representative. Data entry clerk. Data entry clerk. Delivery person. Delivery person. Dentist. Dentist. Designer. Designer. Dock worker. Dock worker. Doctor. Doctor. Dustman or refuse collector. Dustman or refuse collector. Electrician. Electrician. Engineer. Engineer. Factory worker. Factory worker. Farmer. Farmer. Fireman or firefighter. Fireman or firefighter. Fisherman. Fisherman. Fishmonger. Fishmonger. Flight attendant. Flight attendant. Florist. Florist. Food service worker. Food service worker. Foreman. Foreman. Gardener. Landscaper. Gardener. Landscaper. Garment worker. Garment worker. Hairdresser. Hairdresser. Hair stylist. Hair stylist. Health care aide. Attendant. Health care aide. Attendant. Homemaker. Homemaker. Housekeeper. Housekeeper. Janitor. janitor, journalist, reporter, journalist, reporter, judge, judge, lawyer, lawyer, lecturer, lecturer, librarian, librarian, lifeguard, lifeguard, machine operator, machine operator, maid, maid, mail carrier, letter carrier, mail carrier, letter carrier, manager, manager, manicurist, manicurist, mechanic, mechanic, medical assistant or physician's assistant, medical assistant or physician's assistant, messenger or courier, messenger or courier, minor, minor, model, model, mover, mover, musician, musician, news reader, news reader, nurse, nurse, optician, optician, painter, painter, pharmacist, pharmacist, photographer, photographer, pilot, pilot, plumber, plumber, politician, politician, policeman or policewoman, policeman or policewoman, postal worker, postal worker, postman, postman, real estate agent, real estate agent, receptionist, receptionist, repair person, repair person, salesperson, salesperson, sanitation worker or trash collector, sanitation worker or trash collector, scientist, scientist, secretary, secretary, security guard, security guard, shop assistant, shop assistant, soldier, soldier, stock clerk, stock clerk, store owner or shopkeeper, store owner or shopkeeper, supervisor, supervisor, tailor, tailor, taxi driver, taxi driver, teacher, teacher, technician, technician, telemarketer, telemarketer, translator or interpreter, translator or interpreter, traffic warden, traffic warden, travel agent, travel agent, veterinary doctor or vet or veterinarian, veterinary doctor or vet or veterinarian, waiter, waitress, waiter, waitress, welder, welder, window cleaner, window cleaner. All right, you guys. So now that we know some common jobs in English, we need to get ready for an interview. But oftentimes in an interview, there are certain key words that are important to know. Let's get started. Let's practice. Name. Name. Date of birth. Date of birth. Address. Address. Nationality. Nationality. Telephone number. Telephone number. Education. Education. Email address. Email address. Referees. Referees. Employment history. Employment history. Marital status. Marital status. Leisure interest. Leisure interest. Career objective. Career objective. Qualifications. Qualifications. Hire. Hire. Work ethic. Work ethic. Asset. Asset. Company. Company. Team player. Team player. Interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills. Good fit. Good fit. Employer. Employer. Skills. Skills. Strengths. Strengths. Align. Align. Proactive or self-starter. Proactive or self-starter. Analytical nature. Analytical nature. Problem solver. Problem solver. Problem solving. Problem solving. Describe. Describe. Work style. Work style. Important. Important. Challenged. Challenged. Work well. Work well. Under pressure. Under pressure. Tight deadlines. Tight deadlines. Supervisor. Supervisor. Ambitious. Ambitious. Goal-oriented. Goal-oriented. Pride myself. Pride myself. Thinking outside the box. Thinking outside the box. Opportunities for growth. Opportunities for growth. Eventually. Eventually. More responsibilities. More responsibilities. All right, you guys, now it's time for the interview. We're going to go over some common questions that are needed to pass your next interview. Let's get started. Let's do this. Could you introduce a little about yourself? Could you introduce a little about yourself? Why should we hire you? Why should we hire you? How much do you hope to get a month here? How much do you hope to get a month here? Why do you want to leave your current job? Why do you want to leave your current job? What do you expect from your manager? What do you expect from your manager? Why do you like sales? Why do you like sales? Will working on weekends be a problem? Will working on weekends be a problem? When are you able to start? When are you able to start? What do you do when you have a problem with your boss? What do you do when you have a problem with your boss? Do you like to work by yourself or with others? Do you like to work by yourself or with others? If you are given work by your manager that is boring and tedious, what will you do? If you are given work by your manager that's boring and tedious, what will you do? If you don't understand your assignment and you can't reach your boss, what will you do? If you don't understand your assignment and can't reach your boss, what will you do? Asking questions? Asking questions. Did you do any internships? Did you do any internships? Tell me about a time you made a great sale. Tell me about a time you made a great sale. We would like to invite you for an interview. We would like to invite you for an interview. What qualifications have you got? What qualifications have you got? This is the job description. This is the job description. Do you need a work permit? Do you need a work permit? When can you start? When can you start? There is a 3-month trial period. There's a 3-month trial period. All right, now we have some common sentences from interview or application forms. Let's do this. I saw your advert in the page. I saw your advert in the page. I would like to apply for this job. I would like to apply for this job. Could I have an application form? Could I have an application form? Could you send me your application form? Could you send me your application form? I'm interested in this position. I'm interested in this position. Is this a temporary or permanent position? Is this a temporary or permanent position? How much does this job pay? How much does this job pay? Will I get traveling expenses? Will I get traveling expenses? What are the hours of work? What are the hours of work? Will I have to work shifts? Will I have to work shifts? Will I have to work on Saturdays? Will I have to work on Saturdays? When do you want me to start? When do you want me to start? Who would I report to? Who would I report to? Will I be paid monthly or weekly? Will I be paid monthly or weekly? Will I get paid overtime? Will I get paid overtime? How many weeks holiday are there in a year? How many weeks holiday are there in a year? What's the difference between the online and offline marketing? What's the difference between the online and offline marketing? What is your previous marketing experience? What were your targets? What is your previous marketing experience? What were your targets? What blogs do you follow? What blogs do you follow? What social media would you use for this business and why? What social media would you use for this business and why? What is the difference between the web and social media marketing? What is the difference between the web and social media marketing? What is content marketing? What is content marketing? What would be your strategy to create ad copies? What would be your strategy to create ad copies? What do you know about SEO? What do you know about SEO? What is a backlink and what would you need it for? What is a backlink and what would you need it for? What is PPC? What is PPC? Talk about your experience with Google advertising campaigns. Talk about your experience with Google advertising campaigns. How would you improve your quality index? How would you improve your quality index? What were your previous marketing targets? Did you reach them? If yes, how? What were your previous marketing targets? Did you reach them? If yes, how? How are you working with a marketing campaign under a budget? How are you working with a marketing campaign under a budget? Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Could you tell me a little bit about yourself? What do you think makes you a good fit for our company? What do you think makes you a good fit for our company? Do you manage your time well? Do you manage your time well? Are you willing to work overtime? Are you willing to work overtime? What duties do the marketing staff do? What duties does the marketing staff do? How many years have you worked as a marketing staff? How many years have you worked as a marketing staff? What factors should the marketing staff have? What factors should the marketing staff have? Do you know about our company's products? Do you know about our company's products? How to determine marketing share? How to determine marketing share? Do you know who our clients are? Do you know who our clients are? Tell us about some events you set up. Tell us about some events that you set up. Tell us about sequence to set up a promotion campaign. Tell us about sequence to set up a promotion campaign. How to market effectively. How to market effectively. For those that are looking into getting into the sales, we got some questions for you. Some very common interview questions. Let's get started. Tell me about a time when you used your knowledge and understanding to achieve something in the industry. Tell me about a time when you used your knowledge and understanding to achieve something in the industry. Tell me about a time when you worked hard to achieve something. Tell me about a time when you worked hard to achieve something. Tell me about a sensitive situation where you had to really understand how the person was feeling, and how did you respond? Tell me about a sensitive situation where you had to really understand how the person was feeling, and how did you respond? Tell me a time where you were successful at convincing someone to do something. Tell me a time where you were successful at convincing someone to do something. Tell me about a time where you were successful. Tell me about a time when you were successful in winning a difficult sale. Tell me about a time when you were successful at winning a difficult sale. Tell me about a time when you were successful at winning a difficult sale. Tell me about a time when you had to lead or work as part of a team to achieve a challenging objective. Tell me about a time you had to lead or work as part of a team to achieve a challenging objective. Have you ever sold any products or services? If I were your customer, how would you sell to me? Have you ever sold any products or services? If I were your customer, how would you sell to me? Have you ever suggested to your colleagues, your boss, or other people to do something in an uncommon way? Have you ever suggested to your colleagues, your boss, or other people to do something in an uncommon way? All right, for those that are looking into getting into accounting, we got some interview questions for you. Let's get started. Why did you select accounting as your profession? Why did you select accounting as your profession? Do you have any professional experience in this field? Do you have any professional experience in this field? Did you use accounting applications at your previous company, or do you prefer working manually? Did you use accounting applications at your previous companies, or prefer working manually? Can you name any other accounting applications? Can you name any other accounting applications? Which accounting applications do you prefer most and why? Which accounting applications do you prefer most and why? What is the abbreviation for the accounting term debit and credit? What is the abbreviation for the accounting term debit and credit? How many types of business transactions are there in accounting? How many types of business transactions are there in accounting? What is the balance sheet? What is the balance sheet? Have you ever heard about TDS? What is it? Have you ever heard about TDS? What is it? In a balance sheet, where does it show TDS? In a balance sheet, where does it show TDS? Do you have any idea about service tax or excise? Do you have any idea about service tax or excise? Do you think there's any difference between inactive and dormant accounts? Do you think there's any difference between inactive and dormant accounts? What is tally accounting? What is tally accounting? All right, we're going to talk about some questions about people who work in maybe IT or the internet, in that realm, in that world of technology. Let's get started. What industry sites and blogs do you read regularly? What industry sites and blogs do you read regularly? Do you prefer to work alone or in a team? Do you prefer to work alone or in a team? How comfortable are you writing HTML entirely by hand? How comfortable are you writing HTML entirely by hand? W3C. What is the W3C? What are a few of your favorite development tools and why? What are a few of your favorite development tools and why? What skills and technologies are you most interested in improving upon or learning? What size websites have you worked on in the past? What size websites have you worked on in the past? What are a few sites you admire and why? From a web dev perspective. What are a few websites you admire and why? From a web dev perspective. I just pulled up the website you built, and the web browser is displaying a blank page. Walk me through the steps you take to troubleshoot the problem. I just pulled up the website you built, and the browser is displaying a blank page. Walk me through the steps you take to troubleshoot the problem. What's your favorite development language and why? What other features, if any, do you wish to add to this language? What's your favorite development language and why? What other features, if any, do you wish to add to this language? What web browsers do you use? What web browsers do you use? Rank your interest in these development tasks 1 to 5. 1, being not interested at all. 5, being extremely interested. Rank your interest in these development tasks 1 to 5. 1, being not interested at all, and 5, being extremely interested. What are a few personal web projects you've got going on? What are a few personal web projects you've got going on? All right, so now we have some general interview questions for most people, revolving around English, of course. Let's get started. Tell me a little about yourself. Could you introduce yourself? Tell me a little about yourself. Could you introduce yourself? What are your short-term goals? What are your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? What are your long-term goals? What are your strengths? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your weaknesses? Why did you leave your job? Why did you leave your job? Why should we select you? Why should we select you? Why did you apply for this position? Why did you apply for this position? Tell me about your communication skills. Tell me about your communication skills. How would you handle difficult customers? How would you handle difficult customers? If the customers are wrong, but they always think they're right, how would you handle this problem? If the customers are wrong, but they always think they're right. How would you handle this problem? What does good customer service involve? What does good customer service involve? Why do you think that people choose our hotel? Why do you think that people choose our hotel? Are you able to interact well with people of all ages, backgrounds? Are you able to interact well with people of all ages, backgrounds? Do you have experience taking care of customers? Do you have experience taking care of customers? Convince us that you are perfect for this position. Convince us that you are perfect for this position. What are your duties in your position? What are your duties in your position? Are you willing to work under pressure? Are you willing to work under pressure? Did you take care of the deadline? Did you take care of the deadline? What do you think of the saying, the customer is always right, or the customer is king? What do you think about the common saying, the customer is always right, or the customer is king? All right, you guys, we just finished a lot of interview questions. I know some of you who are studying in these fields and planning to get a job or have already graduated. These are going to be very, very helpful. And they're not just helpful for the few categories we talked about, but they'll be very helpful for most people. Some of these questions are very general for interview questions, and they're good to practice. And make sure you can use the appropriate English when you're talking about them. For you guys, have a wonderful, fantastic, super, spectacular, terrific, phenomenal day. Take care.